It's been a long night. See, Red Nation was good. I mean, my God, we're still here. Well, first off, 10 seconds after we end the live call,
God,
the Bulls end up making a pick. The Bulls do end up drafting Julian Phillips, 35th overall. They trade up, basically send a couple of second-round picks to go get him. Nice player. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what AK said in his post-draft press conference, which you can tell he's exhausted.
Like why? Why? But okay.
Why what? Are they doing post-draft press conferences?
I mean, I get it.
That makes sense to me. I don't know. We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us. Your boy Pat the Designer, the pettiest man alive, P Kid, is in the building. Kids, starting things off. I mean, we draft a young player. We go out and we get Julian Phillips out of Tennessee. From what I've seen from him, defensive upside guy. AK talked about it, Marc Eversley talked about it. Basically, when they asked him, is he a replacement for DJJ? He kind of was just like, yeah, it played a part. I mean, he seems like a 1-for-1 replacement with DJJ. I think there's a little bit more offensive upside when I looked at his game. Shooting the ball in college, he just didn't take a lot of shots. 5 shots a game, basically, almost 6 shots a game, basically almost 2 threes. Quick release, though. I like his form more than most people have talked about it. I think, form is a problem when you miss most of your shots in college, but I don't believe that he took a ton of jump shots in college. I got to look it up, but from what I was seeing from the games that I watched of him, I mean, my man's might have took a jump shot, maybe 2 a game. Most of his stuff was to the bucket. Defensive player, I like the defensive skill. What'd you see from when you watched Julian Phillips? Did you see anything that stood out to you? I mean, he feels like a second-round pick to me.
I mean,
that's what it feels like. It's like he might be something. He might not.
I think the one thing I like about him is the fact that he seems to attack the rim with confidence, and that's one of the things that we've if you've been on the live with us earlier today, we have a nice little segment where we kind of discuss P. Will and some of the lack of confidence that we've seen him have in the 2 years he's been here, that he's worked through. And so when I look at a player like Julian Phillips, I look at whether or not, like you mentioned, he didn't take a whole lot of shots. That's a red flag for me. But second round pick. But you did say defensive player. Tax the rim.
Only 20 minutes, 24 minutes a game, college system. Like we know how that goes. Like Zach didn't take a ton of shots in college either.
Yeah, so I take it with
now he's taking 18, 20. You know what I mean?
I take it with a grain of salt, but I also look at how we've been constructed and what we already have. And I look at, hey, good player. He replaces DJJ. I like it in that sense because you didn't have to go out and spend money for that type of player. And is the ceiling higher for DJ? What did DJJ do for us on a consistent basis outside of always hold his hand after you've hit the floor? I'm not quite sure.
Make an impact defensively. That's it. Realistically, DJJ was a player. Every time he checked in, it was like, oh, he's on the floor. He's doing something.
He's on the floor. And then he's holding his hand again.
He's always doing this one. Hey, here. No Zion Williams. No Zion out here.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I mean,
Zion Williams and porn stars.
Shout out Stephen A.
But you know what? Overall,
eventually I'll get sick of it.
I don't think you will. I think it's going to be well into this next season. You probably get rid of it when he finally plays Chicago. But overall, you know what it does? It lets me know that, and we'll get into some of the rest of the comments, but what this does is let me know AK absolutely has a plan and he's willing to actually make certain moves to fill certain needs as they come up. And DJJ leaving was unexpected. And before you know it, he's kind of already been replaced. So it's like, he has a method to his madness, and I like seeing it.
And Julian Phillips, his thing, at the end of the day, he's not small. 6'8", 6'11" wingspan, basically. A very AK type of player. I think he plays really well, like I said, defensively. I think defensively he'll be able to make an impact pretty much right away. I think he'll be able to get minutes on the court right away if they want him to get that opportunity. But at the end of the day, don't expect the world from this guy. If the offensive upside is reached, I love it. If it's not, that's okay. You know what I mean? I think that he'll be a solid defender for the Chicago Bulls for At least, the couple of years that he'll be here for sure. And if he's able to prove himself, he'll be able to stick around. But I think the interesting things from AK's comments, and Mark, let us know how you guys feel about the Bulls drafting Julian Phillips in the comments below. We'll be down there talking with you as well. I think the
I don't want to stretch this out if you don't mind me asking.
Go ahead.
Do you think this was a miss considering that Imani Bates went 49? Who's also 6'10", better shooter, more offensive. He's not that's defensive, Clint, but defense was never really a Bulls problem. We were top-rated defense. I'm pretty sure we can hide that. We had problems with scoring outside of our top 3, realistically, and shooting. Imani Bates would have fit that role. Do you think this was a miss from that perspective?
I'd have rather taken Imani Bates. I would have rather had Imani Bates on my team. I'm not going to say that Jordan Phillips is a miss because I do think that he fills a need.
It's already a miss. You can't even say the man's name.
Julian Phillips. Who is Jordan Phillips, bro?
Ah, God.
There's a Jordan Phillips out here for sure.
Yeah, you just made him up.
He might go to my hall the whole time. No, I think that Julian Phillips fits a need. But if it was me and I'm trading into that spot, I would have taken Imani Bates. I would have. I think that he's a point guard the Bulls could have used. He fits lengthwise what the Bulls like to do. He's a good ball handler, has a good ability to attack the bucket. I mean, every now and then a pistol may pop up, but that's neither here nor there.
This is one of those things where if you've been around Chicago, I'm gonna skip past that one. If you've been around and you've watched us with the Bears and things of that nature, we are in this space where we have GMs who are making really good moves and trying to construct really good teams. But maybe, just maybe, they should have picked the other guy.
Yeah.
But you're not mad at who they picked, but maybe they should have picked this guy. This kind of feels like to me that we may regret it, but I understand why he did it.
I think I can't say we won't regret it because I think about Imani Bates is going to be a really nice player. But again, like you said, I understand why he did it. I understand the upside and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's offensive upside here. What people don't pay attention to is the fact that a guy like this in Julian Phillips is 1 year removed from being in high school. So all you have to go off of is his Tennessee tape where he was a role player and high school. So when I looked at his AAU tape, he could shoot. He was consistent. He was able to knock it down. But when I looked at his AAU tape, he was shooting a lot. He was getting the ball. He was getting the opportunity. The one thing Austin Rivers talked about this, being able to knock down shots on a consistent basis, a lot of times goes into how many of those shots you're getting. It's very tough to knock down shots on a consistent basis when you're getting 7 shots a game and they're all like end of shot clock, end of quarter, or, when somebody else is trying to bail out and kicks it out to you and you just got to be ready. I feel like that's kind of what I saw from Julian Phillips in college. It just wasn't his team. It wasn't his role to be the consistent shooter on that team. And I think he fit his role well. Attack the bucket, able to get downhill, able to play defense. And I think that's what he's got. Those are the things that'll get you on the court quickly enough for the Chicago Bulls. Bulls add in a shooting coach, which is good to see. I think he'll help with that as well, get him back on track. People have talked about kind of the base of his shot. I always say this, like, every shot's bad when it don't go in. Right? Like I can overanalyze every shot in the world and sit here that people miss and be like, this is why he's missing it here. He's not keeping the elbow in, got to get the base of your footwork right. And then I can see dudes like Kevin Martin that have played, or not Kevin Martin, Kevin Martin that have played in the NBA. And you like, my man shoot from his chest. Why does that keep going in?
How about Lonzo before he ultimately hit? It's still kind of wonky.
Nah, that mud, Lonzo fixed this shot. Lonzo early shot was trash. That mud was.
Ooh. God.
That boy was bringing that mug around town, boy. Something else that we pointed out, though, or that AK brought out that I think is big. By the way, let us know how you guys feel about the Julian Phillips pick in the comments below. Lonzo Ball will not be back next season. That AK basically said that verbatim, said we're not expecting to see Lonzo Ball back next season. Also said that the Bulls will not do a waive and stretch situation with Lonzo's contract. They're not even thinking about that. I'm not surprised by that. Bulls an incredibly loyal organization. Jerry Reinsdorf, an incredibly loyal owner. And AK coming from a Denver organization that, I mean, realistically, they could have moved on from Jamal Murray multiple times and didn't. Facts. You know what I mean? They did not say whether he basically said that they'll decide later on using the possible disabled player exception. But what does that mean for the Bulls heading into free agency, where AK said that they will address shooting in free agency, when realistically there's not a lot of money for a lot of the stuff that he's trying to do. What are your expectations around the fact that Lonzo Ball basically, I mean, kind of what we knew, won't be back next season because of the surgery, but the Bulls still need that point guard position filled?
Absolutely. You know what? I think the real question is, how much cap or how much flexibility does the disabled player exception give us if we use it? And I know that you
get half the contract back pretty much. So you get half of next year's salary back.
Well, that's pretty significant then.
That's significant money. That's significant money.
If for those who don't know, Lonzo was making around 20 million. Plus, we already had some wiggle room. We didn't have a lot. We had some cap to be able to use. So we're looking at being able to sign a shooting point guard. It's interesting. I think I don't know if this was on the live or in a personal conversation, but D'Angelo Russell's name comes up. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's also a 41% shooter from three, which I didn't know. I thought it was like 36 this season. He's 41% from three, which was
is he 41 just with the Lakers, or is he 41 for that entire season?
I think it looks at the entire season. Hold on 1 second. I can actually double check that. But in the meantime, while I looked that up, like, I didn't realize that's how efficient he was. Now, everything else is a lot to be desired, but for the 2023 season, let's just combine both of them. Both of them, he's 0.391 at Minnesota. He was
40%.
0.41, 40%.
40%.
All right, there you go. You say I round up too much, so I wanted to give you the exact.
I'll give you that one. I mean, 0.391, like
40%,
39%, 40%. All right, he's right there.
Right there. So good. He feels a need. He's actually 17 points a game, 40% from the 3-point line. He's actually a decent scorer. And again, he ran the point. He's ran alongside great talents like Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, if you consider him one of the game-changing players, if you want to look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
so, you know, and you also have players like, I wouldn't consider Schroeder yeah, there you go. Make the wet one.
That's how I feel about Karl Anthony Towns changing the game, but you changed your win column for your career, my boy.
Hey, listen, that man could have said anything else. He chose that. Out of all the languages he could have
spoke, listen to the pod? Did you listen to the pod?
I did.
My Pat Bev check Gill like that, bro.
Hey, out of all the languages that Cat spoke, though, he chose the Cap. That's all I'm saying. Like, he's going to change the game in a lot of ways. We're going to redo and relook at how goofy you can be while being very mid. So
I got 4 fouls in the first half. 5.
This man comes out. They're cooking. He fouls somebody. What's going on, dude? If you don't sit your name, anyway. But no, you have players like D'Angelo Russell for sure. You have players like you don't know what's happening in what's the team? Clippers. The Clippers have some moves that they're trying to make. They have some shooters over there. There are some veteran pieces that could be moved around that we could take advantage of if we do take advantage of this disabled player exception. So that. Knowing that, I'm actually pretty excited as to what we can add, because while we didn't think we had a lot of money, this gives us a little more flexibility. It's almost like when you check your bank account after a weekend, you think you're going to be broke, but then you realize you got enough money to do all the stuff you want to do. I kind of feel like that right now. Like, you know what, we might be able to do something, you know?
Well, don't get too excited. It usually takes a month for that paperwork to go through. And if we haven't filed it by now, that means a month from now, most of these free agents will be gone. But it is an option on the table. I like that AK is willing to at least consider using that one. Not going to do the wave and stretch, like I said. I kind of get that one. But the one thing that we talked about with all of this is going into the luxury tax.
GMs be capping, though. He might say that today, but I mean, Mike Dunleavy said that Jordan Poole was going to be there, and he's a Warriors guy. That man was shipped out before that even made the press run. He was shipped out. All right,
they put a dang post up about development in our organization. This is a picture of Jordan Poole through all the years, and the last picture should have been just him in a Wizards jersey, developing to get him out. No, I mean there could be some cap there. I mean, here's the tough part. AK hasn't. This is the part that I think is tough for Bulls fans to swallow. AK hasn't lied. He hasn't sat here and said one thing and then completely done another thing. He hasn't sat here and told you what he's literally just been like even in this press conference talking about where the Bulls luxury tax threshold is. We've never known this. Me and Hayes have talked about this and talked about how Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't go into the luxury tax based on history, right? We've never known what the luxury tax threshold is. Basically, it's 4 to 6. If you're in between 4 and 6 in the standings, Jerry Reinsdorf is willing to go into the luxury tax, which tells me one of two things. Apparently, he believes if you're 1 to 3, I don't need to go into luxury tax. We good enough. And if you're 7 and down, I'm not don't even come to my office.
At what point? But wait. But at what point do you pull that off, though?
Well, I think that's the question mark. And he listen, even with that, right? Like he said, that Michael and Jerry have been very upfront about where his threshold for the luxury tax is. And I asked this question last season when the Bulls were we were 5th last season, right, or 6th, one of them. And I asked this question. When we went into the offseason, everybody was like, you got to make this move. You got to go get this guy. You got to attack this guy. Go find this guy. There was nobody I wanted to go into the luxury tax for. There was nobody that I was like, because I know I've never known Jerry Reinsdorf to put these parameters out there. Now we've got these parameters. Now we know what these parameters are. He could have gone into the luxury tax next year based on these options. There was no one I wanted in free agency that I was like, absolutely going to the luxury tax for. Who? Mo Bamba? I didn't want to go into luxury tax for Mo Bamba. He was okay. He didn't even play it with the Lakers. He didn't play with the Magic either. He basically just got paid for a season to just chill. I think he got in a fight. I think that's all he did this season. He got in a fight. I'm pretty sure. And it's not to say that Mo Bamba will never be able to play, but the two teams that had him didn't see a use for his skill set. That means that's not a guy you go into the luxury tax for. And in this season, right, we were 10th. You're definitely not getting the luxury tax at 10th right now. So I think that a lot of things were explained. A lot of things were opened. We have an understanding now of where ownership is. Basically, this season, I would say don't expect the Chicago Bulls to be going into the luxury tax based on what AK just told us. And their goal is basically to get back to that point by going out in free agency. AK also talked about how he's going to address shooting in free agency. He's going to try to address that point guard position in free agency. And he spoke on, and this is where I'm very confused, offering qualifying offers to Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu. He basically said he's going to do it. He said he believes in these guys. He's going to offer them the qualifying offer that will allow them to either sign that or go out, test free agency, see what they're worth, blah, blah, blah.
I'll take that qualifying offer.
There's not a lot of money left.
Test free agency. Coby, test free agency. I want to see what you're worth, baby.
I think you can do it. There's not a lot of money left. Like I'm sitting here doing the math in my head. I'm like, okay, we offering the qualifying offer to Coby, we offering it to Ayo. Even if they take it, there's not a lot of money left in either situation. So I'm really going to be intrigued. AK just basically said, they asked him at the end of this, there are fans that will say that you did nothing. You sat on your hands in the draft, even though you took this guy in the second round, Julian Phillips. You've sat on your hands last offseason for the most part. What is your response to those fans? And AK said, wait and see what we do in free agency. Now, that wait and see what we do in free agency sounded like he got a plan up his sleeve that's going to surprise all of us and make us feel like, oh, man, he's back. He's Batman again. He's got 18 contingency plans to your contingency plan. But I got to see it. I got to see it.
I got to see it myself. I'm actually looking at the cap space and everything that we have. And I'm also looking at what these qualifying offers will be. You're right. It's not a whole lot of cash left, but it's still some wiggle room that I can see.
I mean, what is Coby's qualifying offer is 8, and I believe Io's is 5.
Hey, listen, you already know how I feel about that one, baby.
Well, I mean,
qualifying offer for Coby White is 7.7. So let's just say
7.7, 8.
Io's is 5.2. So let's just say 5. Call it even. We break even there. I think we all can agree. We rounded up on 1, rounded down on a 1.
That's $13 million.
Okay.
We got 12.
Well, if it is half of Lonzo's contract, then you have 10 that you can do there.
That's if they use the disabled player exception. Remember, they would have had to already have put that in. Now you can wait for these guys to sign and stuff like that, but that's going to take a month at a minimum for the paperwork to go through. That takes a while. That one takes a while. And so
they need to go ahead and stretch that joint. Waive and stretch.
Well, they already said it. AK already said he's not going to do that. They're not going to do the waive and stretch. I would have thought that would have been the best option, but I mean, realistically, I think it was Darnell Mayberry asked him, is there a hope that he's going to play for this team again? And Acme said, there's hope, but I don't see it. Like he said, I don't see it next year, which to me means he's probably not ever playing for this team again. That tells you that they're probably just going to ride the Lonzo contract out. They're going to wait till this is all said and done. They're going to wait until this is all over. And I think that I'm not surprised by that. That's just kind of the situation that he's in. When you swing and miss with Jerry Reinsdorf, you swing and miss and you got to hold that. Like Jerry's one of those owners. Like, hey, you took a chance on this guy. It didn't work. That's tough. I'll see you in 2 years. We'll sell out 2 more years. I'll make my money. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, that's Scottie Pippen, right? That's what we talked about with Scottie.
Yeah.
Don't sign this contract. You sign this contract. I swear to God, you better not come back in my office. Now Scottie sitting there mad. He making $6 million a year.
Oh no, he wasn't making $6 million. He's making $600,000 a year.
No, whatever it is. Oh yeah, that is bad. But now Scotty's sitting there mad because I ain't got the same money. I ain't getting a billionaire told you don't sign this deal. That's a whole nother thing. Last thing I really wanted to address was they asked AK about some of the trade issues or some of the trade rumors that were out there or surrounding Zach LaVine. And I'm gonna ask you this, right? If it's your franchise player, if it's your number one guy, you're not getting rid of him, right? Let's say Jokic is a franchise player, and I say, hey, there's a lot of rumors around Jokic. There's a lot of teams that have packages put together to trade for him. What do you think when you hear those packages?
I don't think anything. I'm not trading him.
Exactly. That's not what AK said. AK basically went on to say that Zach LaVine's working hard this offseason. He realizes that the season didn't live up to what his expectations were last season, and that he's already working with the Bulls trainers this offseason to try and get better. He spoke on the work, not on Zach LaVine's place in the franchise. Does that tell you anything about what AK may be thinking this offseason on the Zach LaVine possibility?
I think he's doing the best thing for the organization by one, praising Zach LaVine for his work ethic, letting teams know that, hey, he's not a complacent star. He's really trying to work and get better. But he's also letting them know, hey, if you want to send some trade offers this way, you can. I've already told you my price. I've already told you where we starting. The draft is over.
Yeah.
Draft is over. So now we're looking at future drafts. There's nobody in this draft that they probably wanted. And I still stand on this. There's one trade that's very possible. And it's still through Portland. I don't care what nobody says. Everything that they mentioned, everything that they want, Portland could have and still can give them.
Hey, send me Scoot now. You sending me Scoot? Send me Shaden? And sign and trade Jeremy Grant just to make money work. Yeah, nah, don't do that. I don't want Jeremy Grant at $30 million a year. There's a lot of money for Jeremy Grant.
It's some notable free agents though right now, because this is what I've been looking at. So, and I hate to be like this on the screen like that, so I apologize about that. But notable free agents, unrestricted free agents. I'm going to go unrestricted. Russ, unrestricted free agent. Is just coming off a $46 million contract. He knows he's not getting the bag again. That ship has sailed. He's 34, 15-year vet. James Harden is Chris Middleton. He's tested free agency. I don't think anything about
doubt that. Yeah, he's going back to Milwaukee.
We all know Kyrie Irving is going back to Dallas. He doesn't have a market. D'Angelo Russell, point guard. Fred VanVleet, unrestricted free agent.
I'm okay.
Karis LeVert, unrestricted free agent. Derrick Rose is going to be.
That's the name. He's unrestricted. They're gonna end up not opting him into his contract as a team option, and I believe he makes $30 million next year. Yeah, hey D, you're gonna be hitting them streets, my boy. I hope you welcome back to Chicago.
Jeremy Grant is one of them as well, and that's just notable. But this is the one name that I saw, and I was just like, "Ooh, that's a good name." Nobody's been talking about it. Yeah, he does have a player option, but I think that he could test free agency. Jordan Clarkson. Just some names to throw out there as for you all to understand that there may be a plan out there, and that you saw how AK got Vooch, and you saw what that whole process looked like and things of that nature. There are some people out there that, depending on who he moves, who doesn't sign. What if Coby doesn't take the offer? He wants to test free agency because Kobe's not going to get the same opportunity that he probably needs to. Like Coby will look really good in a Wizards jersey because he get the shots. He ain't getting the shots.
Don't do that, Coby. Don't do that to yourself, bro.
Hey,
you go anywhere in Washington, bro. Hey, he can go to Miami. He can go to Miami and bet on himself, bro. They ain't gonna let him shoot in Miami, bro. They're not gonna have no shooters left if they trade for Dame, bro. Go to Miami, bro. Don't
bet on you, dog.
Don't bet on you in Washington, bro. I'm gonna tell you this right now. They will give you the bag in Washington. You will hate yourself.
Bet on you, dog.
They gave Kuz, Porzingis, and Beal the bag. None of them are there.
But yeah, there are some names out there they're not bad. There's some things that could be done. For everyone who hated on Kyle Kuzma as an unrestricted free agent, that's still a thing. He's going to get somewhere between 20 to 25 a year. Depending on what happens, you could make that work. Like there's some players out there.
I'm gonna be honest. Clarkson gonna get the bag though. He finna be 32 years old. Nah, he gonna get the bag. He probably gonna get 30.
And
Clarkson signed a very team-friendly deal, 4 years, $51 million. And that was when he was down. Remember, he was coming off of Cleveland. Yeah, nah, he gonna get the bag. He gonna get a nice $30 million contract per year, probably.
I say all this to say, yeah, I feel you. I say all this to say there are some names that I wouldn't be surprised if we made a run at. Like we could look different and it may not look the way we envisioned it. And that's what I love about AK. The moves he's made, I didn't see.
Yeah.
And so that makes me look at this. I'm trying to play chess on a whole different thing. Jakob Poeltl was still an unrestricted free agent. He hasn't been. I haven't heard anything about him.
I'm gonna tell you this: the conversation around Vooch didn't sound solid. He said, "We're talking with Vooch. We're trying to move this down the road." Like, it didn't sound like, yeah, we got Vooch locked up. We just waiting on that. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely did not sound like that. So
imagine Vooch not being back, but you still have Drummond.
Yeah.
Now you have $20 million to go and get this. For things of that nature. What you mean?
You don't get Vooch money off the books. You get a couple mil back, but it really don't help you. You almost gain nothing by not signing him. Like that's why to me AK wants to sign him so bad, even if it's just to move him. We have heard that Vooch might possibly take a team friendly deal, but it only makes it literally the only thing that makes sense is to sign him. So he kind of has the ball in his court and can do somewhat of what he wants, but you also don't want to be like, hey, you don't want to be stupid and say, I'm gonna just sign you to sign you to a contract that we feel like is gonna hamstring us in the long run. Like you gotta play that game with it. But It's not like you get Vooch's money back outright.
The best thing about this is I like the game that he plays, and I respect the game that he plays, and I'll live with that. I know why I don't want to stretch this out any more longer than that, but there's some names. And the name I mentioned, and then we can just totally get off this particular subject, is someone we've actually talked about quite often. And Steph Curry is available, and Steph Curry shoots 40% from three.
He also plays in 40% of the games. So, yeah. Appreciate it. Hey, man, let us know how you guys feel in the comments below.
He got me there. I don't know what to say about that.
Let us know in the comments below, man. How you guys feel about the pick? How you feel about AK's press conference? I mean, I thought that it was very insightful. Marc Eversley also spoke on, the things with the shooting coach and why they went out and got Julian Phillips. I thought it was very insightful. I thought it was good that our GM and president of basketball operations are talking to us. And I think it opened my eye to what a lot of this Bulls team's possibilities this offseason realistically are. And changes kind of how we outlook at and view it moving forward. But let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. As always, for the pettiest on the line.
Pat,
What up?
Undrafted UConn center Adema Sanogo has agreed on a 2-way contract with the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, wow. So we this just happened?
This happened as soon as we hit record.
Gotta love it, dog. You gotta love it. Hey, I have no information on my man. I don't know who he is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Undrafted center Adama Sanogo has agreed on a 2-way deal with the Chicago Bulls. Sounds like a very AK move. Let me just give a preliminary. Okay. Oh, wait, is this the big black dude? Oh, bro, he looked 37.
17 points a game, 7 rebounds, 60% from the field. He's 21 years old.
I ain't buying 21.
6'9", though.
6'9". I will bet anything that there is at least a 7'1" wingspan on this guy. Can't find.
Play for UConn though.
Did play for UConn. Improved himself every season. Scored more last season, playing less minutes. He played 3 less minutes last season. Like you said, 60% from the field. Not a bad pickup.
Not a bad
pickup. I'm not gonna say I know. First off, he went to the Patrick School. This dude a made up player, bro. Bro, his high school is the Patrick School, bro.
I'm sorry, the what?
Hey, bro, it says his high school is the Patrick School, bro.
Well, he was born in Mali. So.
Hey, bro. Hey, that don't mean he went to high school in Mali, bro. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Don't do my man dirty like that. He's living his dream right now.
I haven't watched any tape on him, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all anything that I'm gonna make up in front of y'all. The numbers look good. I gotta see some tape on him, see what he brings to the table. We'll talk about that on another video. As always, though, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.